Hey, what's going on? I'm Darius, based out of Raleigh, and I have the design, no silver spoons, just golden rules.
I'm Bryce Wong, .swoosh virtual footwear and collection designer.
The difference between having the golden swoosh on the lateral and the silver swoosh on the medial is just kind of drawing attention and prominence to what I felt was most important in the lessons that was instilled for me from my dad. Financially, we weren't like very affluent, but I was like very rich in like the lessons he taught me. The blue collar is actually like a literal nod to my dad. Was a blue collar worker through and through. The job wasn't very glamorous, but he loved it. He showed up, worked hard. The inspiration to the two layers that you see, like the cleaner white upper with like the kind of dirtier lower level, is also a nod to my dad and kind of like that relationship between me and him. I'm a huge sneakerhead, so I have a lot of shoes, more than I can actually need or probably wear. I try my best to kind of keep those clean and crispy as possible. My dad is like the opposite. He would have like one or two pair and he'll like beat those into the ground. And it also kind of signifies, like my dad being that foundation and me, continuing the story.
That was one of those details that's super fun because having some of the tearaways and wearaways in SB, knowing that like those shoes would be skated in real life. This was kind of one of those scenarios where we really had to like figure out a way to expose that and show that because it's virtual. Talking about that box cutter that your dad would use to open boxes and showing how like maybe you're cutting it away.
The steel little peak that you see on the toe box is, another nod to that demographic. Kind of have the steel toe boots for protection. So we kind of wanted to implement that as like a little fun, little Easter egg.
We would never really put a steel toe in an Air Force One. I mean, maybe one day, right? But like, it was cool to be able to share that virtually, as well as like actually changing the tooling, like the outsole to match that. We don't actually get the opportunity to do that a lot with collaborators in the physical world, where we're like making molds for the actual and changing the heritage of the design. But in this case, it was really cool to see like the options that we could like actually put on the sole.
The box cutter Dubray is like a nod to the main tool that like my dad used. He would bring out, and when he was like restocking, like whether it be produce or like frozen or whatever, he always had the box cutter, that slice, that breakdown of the boxes. Like, it was crazy to think of having a box cutter on the sneakers. It was cool that virtually we could throw that in as a nice tool. That Nike tongue is actually like a call out to a toboggan that he used to wear all the time. Started out black, he wore it so much, washed it so much, that it started getting to that like charcoal gray. So you'll notice that it's not like fully black, it's kind of charcoal gray, but it has the same texture of a toboggan. Like stitched in there 4928. And that's actually my grandmother's house number. I spent a lot of time there. He grew up there, so I wanted to put that on there as a nod to my family and everyone back home. You'll see non-slip on the midsole. A lot of times you have to have like footwear that is non-slip to kind of like protect yourself in like those different work environments. And also it's like a fun, you can't get caught slipping. Like you gotta be ready at all times.
Some of that storytelling that goes directly on like in the spaces where you'd normally see air. Like we're really kind of playing that line between like old school, new school. This is what we have done, this is where we can go.
The triple stitching on the quarter panel. That was like actually a cool call out that Bryce and the team pitched to me. I thought it was genius. I mean, workwear, like if you're familiar with some of like the prominent workwear brands, they all kind of utilize triple stitching to make things last longer, to have more durability. My dad, he was all about that. Like the chain stitch on the back of the heel tab, it's actually like on like a denim material with like raw edges. And like I said, another call out, my dad wearing things in. Back in the day, a lot of times, like for those industry workers and stuff, they would have their name kind of embroidered in like denim and stitching. So we wanted to kind of call that out. The insole has, the saying, no silver spoons, just golden rules. And that's like the overall message that I kind of want to portray. With my dad, like I said, after, having him pass away and like think more about it, I started, to realize that like the things that like I treasure the most and that were most important to me were just the time spent with him, like the lessons taught, like those golden rules. And even though I didn't, have a silver spoon or like be able to get everything I kind of wanted, I had what I needed. I said like family is important, like the community that you build with others is important. It's not really about the material things. Just showing love to each other and believing in that golden rule. Treat others like as you want to be treated.